Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and I hope you guys have been having a great time in this quarantine situation and isolation and whatever terms they are using so that we can just stay at home. Yeah, and happy Easter to all Christians around the world. And yeah, if I was a pastor or I was good in preaching, I was gonna be preaching hallelujah, Jesus is risen. But unfortunately, I am not. But guys, I hope given the circumstances and situations going on around the world and the corona thing, you guys found ways and made the most out of the situation to kind of celebrate Easter to those, of course, who believe in these things. Yeah. So anyways, that's not the point of this video. Today we are talking about selection weeks, people. So I told you guys last time that I want to do a video, and I've been trying to do this video for the longest time. It's so difficult because you don't really know where to start, what to really touch, because there's a lot of things involved in the whole, like before you actually get to the selection week, there's like application and then selection, who comes, who does not come. But that will be a video for another day. So today guys, I want to talk about my own experiences of last year's selection weeks, because someone might have a different story, but this is what I experienced last year, 2019 selection weeks. Number one, guys, I was in an honors class, ne? So when you're in an honors class, you cannot apply to all universities. Number one, selection week is literally a week. So you go to one university for a week and you go to another one for a week. So that means you can spend the whole 2 months going up and down trying to get admitted to masters, and your academics will be suffering. And one of the requirements is that you need to perform. And for a university like mine, which is quite strict when it comes to like leave of absence and when to attend such stuff and what kind of commitments we have as the department, you had to choose. Like, I have to be honest, and I think it's one thing that most honors students are gonna find challenging this year, because like when you're in honors, remember you are responsible for your academics. At the same time, you also need to get to masters, so you need to select which universities you apply for. So last year I applied for 4 universities: Rhodes, University of Limpopo, Wits, and University of Pretoria. So Rhodes, no one was. I had applied for counseling psychology, and no one was called for selection week in my honors class. And I mean no one. No one, like, guys, not even a single person was invited. And this is what the rejection letter said. So I obviously not gonna read everything, but I'm just gonna tell you like pointers on that, like rejection or unable to invite letter said. They talked about equity and diversity, that currently they're looking for black psychologists, but you should have a life experience. Even right now, guys, I don't know what life experience is, so I cannot lie to you and say like, guys, what is life experience, because I also don't know. And they talked about academic excellence, and I cannot emphasize this more, guys. I've been telling you, try to not fall below 65. And also 65 is also a minimum. Try to get to 70. Ne? And they talked about experience in the field, looking at your personal psychotherapy, looking at your work experience in, like, not necessarily work experience, but your volunteering, but being able to reflect on those experiences and how they've shaped you. But they've also talked about quality of referees. Guys, select your referees very carefully. I still remember last year my friend struggled with one thing. Unfortunately, she got admitted, and I have her video in this channel. Just go down, we were like at the beach, and she found out that her referees did not submit the referee report at all. Can you imagine, after paying so much money, Korea referee for referee reports, the application fee and such, yeah, whatever. So guys, and age, I still remember after we were all rejected for counseling psychology, My supervisor told me that the average, because she was like part of the panel, she told me that the average age for 2019 counseling psychology pool was 28. 28, guys. 28. And that time you are guys, that time you are 20 years, 21, 22, 23, 24. You're not even close. And that's what we were told. Like they said, age played a major factor last year. So what I can tell you guys is that there is no, like every year, every university is looking for something different. This year age might play a factor, next year experience might play like a huge factor, the other year might be academics, but usually academics doesn't play much of a role except for the initial screening process. So that's what happened at Rhodes in short. And for clinical psychology at Rhodes, they invited 2 people in our class and my friend got in. And yeah, that's life, guys. That's what happens. And congratulations to her. I really love my friend so much, and she really deserved that. She's so good. You should see her on the video suggested, of course. And next university, University of Limpopo, guys. I really don't want to trash universities, but what I experienced there, you can just guess. We wrote a test day 1 of the selection week. We wrote a test. Can you imagine? Like, I feel like I have so much to say about the whole like selection process of that university, because I felt like it was very unfair in so many ways, because every university has its own modules. I mean, last year I was doing like childhood and mental disability as one of the module, and obviously someone in UL was not doing that. And if they were to come to my university and write a test about, they will obviously fail. That was very unfair, according to me, of course. And yeah, so it was just like that. Writing a test about almost everything you've done in your undergrad. That's why I talked about not throwing your notes, especially if you're planning to apply to University of Limpopo. But things might change, you'll never know. And yeah, that was the end of the story. That's what happened at UL last year. And then 2 universities. I'm going to UP now. University of Pretoria. So day 1, what happened at, remember selection week is like literally a week. That's why I'm saying I actually had to apply for 4 universities because of that situation. And University of Limpopo was free, and they only wanted 2 referees, and Rhodes they wanted 3 referees, and it was 150 rands application fee. UP was 300 rands, and plus Korea it was 100 rands. And yeah, and what else? That's it. And then day 1, it was interview at UP. So the interview basically was about, like, remember we write essays like autobiographies, tell me about your life, your research interests, such things. Like if you haven't seen the UP application form, you can just Google it and see what they're looking for. So usually like what they do at, okay, what happened? Let me not say usually. What happened last year at UP is that they just looked at that form and then started asking random questions. But it was more of like you as a person in relation to psychology and how your volunteering, your research, and everything that you've done academically relate to your life and can be a contributing factor to you becoming a better psychologist in South Africa. And but what I think with my interview happened was more of, I think I have to be honest anyways, but if someone asked me, I was like, that university was really unfair. But I think, but now I actually understand why I was eliminated after the interviews. But they told me, they said, girl, go get healing. Because last year I was actually, yeah, depressed, guys. Depressed. But I'll actually do a video on, guys, depression and using antidepressants and why I decided to stop using antidepressants. But yeah, I was depressed and they told me to go and get healing. And at first I didn't understand. I was like, no, but I can get healing in the process. You know, you guys are psychologists, you can, you can help me. But yeah, I did not get that at first. It's very painful, guys, especially when you travel all the way from Eastern Cape and you go to Pretoria and you have to go back to Eastern Cape and come back next week to go to vets. So it was very painful. Rejection is never easy, guys. Like, I don't want to lie to you. Being rejected and be like, hey guys, like, No, we feel like you're not healed and you need to heal. Because I think one of the biggest thing that you need to consider when you're applying for masters is that those people are trained and they can see through you, and you have to be honest also with yourself, because it's quite a challenging work when you're dealing with feelings and emotions, and when you're not healed, it can just easily, get transferred to another person. You can just be easily hurt, or there's a word for, like, there's a term for psychology about that. But yeah, and that's what they said to me day one after the interviews, but they were not bad guys. And one of the things that I really want to warn people about, especially when you're applying to UP, is that don't listen to many advices. I know I'm actually giving an advice right now, but this is one thing I wish someone told me. Don't listen to many advices. Don't read too much. Just, be yourself, be honest, and go there, be confident. Because it's one thing that's really challenging. You go there, you sit in a room with like 5 people, because like they schedule interviews like, and then you go there, you find 5 people, because like UP was very different from vets. You go there, you find 5 people sitting like in the waiting room, and everyone will be there waiting for their slot. And guys, some look so confident, like they got this, that admitted. Guys, keep your confidence. Don't research too much. Don't look for too much information. To like focus on your research, know your research, because like university modules differ, so they can't expect you to come knowing everything. So just go there, be yourself, be confident, and trust yourself. Ne? Okay. Now I sound like a teacher. So okay, and then that's what happened at UP. So the questions were more of like, for me it was more of like just getting to know me, who am I personally, and also it was more of, but like in relation to psychology, they would ask me a question like, tell me about yourself, and then you talk. After that, they'd be like, given this thing that you've said while you were talking, um how does that um go hand in hand with psychology, with a certain psychological concept, or use a certain psychological concept to like explain it. I know this video is gonna be long because like, I talk too much, sorry. So, and then yeah, I was eliminated day one. Yeah, and then it was like 4 days. So I went to vet the next week. And also, what I also want to give as advice is that, guys, the reason you have to choose the universities you applied for, like you apply for, okay, you can apply to all universities, but for me it was not possible. You can apply for all universities, but when it comes to selection weeks, you need to choose which universities you are going to go to, because like study those universities closely, know what they are all about, like if the kind of I forgot what the words are, but like the terms, I mean, but like you need to find out if you can actually suit perfectly into the program and decide where to go, because you cannot attend. Suddenly clash, the dates will be like, I still remember last year, there's this friend of mine who came to UP, and she also applied to like SMU, so she had to actually choose to go to UP, but she regretted, if that's the way to go there after. So yeah, so you have to choose which universities you go to for selection weeks. And the last one was Words. Vest, fortunately, I even got to the final, guys. I was so excited. You know, when you're so close, it even hurts more. Ooh, guys. That was very exciting. I really loved Words, and the way they handled everything. For me, it was okay. I loved the way it was. First day, they invited 80 people, of course. 300 people apply, 400 people, only 80 people are going to be invited. So first day, what we did was they gave us like a research and a psychopathology kind of assessment to do, and then you just do it outside. It wasn't really hectic. It wasn't even like, because you actually had the access to internet, so you can actually Google, if it makes sense. Yeah, so that day we did 2 individual interviews and that assessment. So individual interviews, the first one we had, it was more of personal. They're just getting to know you. It isn't really, you don't have to like stress a lot, guys, because I realize most people are panicking because they've read so much, they've heard so much. It was just personal. You like, imagine it like as your friend, or sitting with your friend and just having a conversation. I think that's how it was for me. They just talk to you like who you are, have you volunteered, such things. Are you okay working in a psychiatric hospital? What do you think are the challenge? Such things. And then even the second individual interview was like that. But the second one was more personal than the first one, because the second one was more, the first one was more of like you as a person, in you as a person in relation to psychology and volunteering and those counseling experience and all. But the second one was more of you, your family, and whether you have good relationships with your family, who's going to be there for you, such things. And after that, they eliminated half of the people, and fortunately I made it to the second round. The second round, the second day was role play. So you act like you play, it's like you act as a psychologist and as a patient. So they give you a scenario. For me, guys, the story they gave me was tough. Imagine being, oh guys, they said to me, they gave me a patient who came with marriage spark issues. There's no spark in the relationship, and the person is married and had 3 miscarriages. It's like they were testing my age, guys. Come on. I felt like it was so tough. But anyways, I somehow I managed to maneuver through the situation and found myself on the other side. And the second thing we did, the third day, obviously the third day, there was no elimination after second day. The third day we did the individual, like the group activities. So they just ask you questions, unlike unprepared speech, but in a group setting. So they just ask us a question and we start talking. The question they asked was like, what is it about yourself that you don't like, that when somebody notices, it makes you feel uncomfortable and you have to talk like boom. But like vets is very simple because they guide you. So you guys gonna find vets very interesting and very nice. Yeah. So, and then unfortunately, when the final 12 was published, I wasn't there. I was not eliminated anyway. So, but that didn't mean I'm not a good like candidate or I cannot be a psychologist in future. It just meant there were people that suit the program better that year or how it was designed. Nothing much. So guys, I know most of you were rejected, not necessarily, but yeah, most of us were rejected. But guys, after you reflect on it, after like, cause at first, guys, it's painful. I don't want to lie to you. You're gonna feel like it's like your world is crashing or something, but eventually you're just gonna feel okay about it. And if you are reflecting and you're honest enough to actually acknowledge it, because with that, after the whole thing, I realized that I really had esteem issues. I wasn't really confident enough, even when I did the reflections on the role play, because after doing the role play, it's like 5 minutes after the role play, you have to like reflect on the session, how you found it. Even if you're not good enough or you felt like you did mistakes, you need to acknowledge those things. But when I was asked, I was really, guys, yeah. But anyways, here we are. Like, so next time I'll be doing a video on where am I now? So, or something else, I don't know. But because someone suggested I should do it, I might do it. So thank you guys. Before it actually reaches 20 minutes, this is the first time I do this longest video and I hope it's not really boring. Thank you so much for watching and all the best with your application this year. Select good referees, apply on time so that you don't panic and start writing, because some universities require long essays and you might have to think a lot about that. And remember, if you're not emotionally stable or you're not emotionally okay or you're not ready to emotionally walk a journey with someone, don't force things and push yourself to apply when else you know like you're not ready. And yeah, thank you so much.